Okay, cool. Welcome back to Woodpecker Workshops. My name's Ollie, if you're new here. This is Woodpecker Workshops, and together with myself and Charlie, who is a creative writer, we create free workshops for you guys to take part in and compete in a competition. So, this workshop is all about photo poetry. Now, if you don't know what photo poetry is, that's okay. I didn't know about it for a very long time, but interestingly enough, it is almost as old as photography as an art form is, but it's much less popular. So lots of photographers use maybe one poem in a photo book, but not many I've come across are like self-proclaimed photo poets, not as common as just a poet or just a photographer. Now, I'm not a poet. I've never written a poem. I mean, maybe I did at secondary school. And later on in this lesson, we're going to go out and I'm going to write a poem and I'm going to pair it with a photo. But first, let's look at some photo poets. Now, the first one is a photographer called Anastasia Taylor Lind. And I say photographer, she's also a poet. Today, we're going to look at her book, One Language. The book itself looks at how violence can be seen as a universal language and looking at its devastating impacts. But the poetry used gives us a first-hand experience of what it's like to work as a photojournalist, to be behind the camera when working in the awful conditions, seeing the awful things that you do as a conflict photographer, as a war journalist. The poems are quite heavy-hitting at times, but they manage to relay her emotions in a really kind of beautiful way. So this is kind of one way you might use poetry to combine with your photos. Her book, One Language, as you can see, doesn't have loads and loads of photos. It has a few, and they link to the poems. Yeah, it's mainly poems. It's mainly a poetry book, and it tells a story in a way that is slightly different to how most people would tell. Moving on to a different way that you might show your work. Sal Taylor Kidd is an American photographer, poet, and a writer. She's written books that combine poetry and photography, but I want to look at how she uses Instagram to share her work. She takes kind of dreamy photographs of flowers and people, landscapes, and she posts them and has poems as the description. Instagram is just absolutely perfect for photo poetry. And I feel like me, and you kind of feel like poetry is a little bit lost on you. And maybe it is literally just me, but sometimes I struggle to understand a poem. But it was Sal's work that, for the first time, it seemed like I got it. It seemed like I understood it. And it was because I see a lot of work, I see a lot of photography on Instagram. I suppose the first thing I do is I look at the picture. If I find it interesting, I'll go and I'll read the description. Half the time it's anecdote about the photo, maybe a little description, maybe a little bit about the technical information, what film it was shot on. It disassociates me from where the photo took me in the first place. But Sal's photos, they take me to this dreamy place. And then the poem doesn't take me out of it, it brings me closer in. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that's a really interesting thing. Finally, this is a zine called Often Travelled, Scarcely Remembered. It's by Jake Smith. Think about how it makes you feel. How does the artist's decision to print on black paper using black ink work? And how do you feel about this poem? I've been everywhere, seen everything. I'm the sun in the morning, the moon on an evening. I'm the rain in the heat, the tree in the rain. I'm the grass above, the coal below. I've had a life well lived, a memory long forgotten. Just have a think about that and have a think about how maybe you visualise the poem. So that's it. We're going to go out soon and we're going to look at technical things, some things that you should look out for when you're out and taken part in this workshop. Right guys, so I've just walked up to my local little suburban lake slash pond, and this is where I'm going to try and write a poem and take a photo to match with it. I've chosen this place specifically because during lockdown I used to come here just about every day. I documented all of the wildlife. I spent lots and lots of time here and I really loved it, and I think there's something quite poetic about that. It became quite a close place to me, to the point where I even named the local grey heron. I think I logged in about 30 different species of bird. What's cool about this place is I saw it through pretty much all the seasons, and I saw how it changed. I saw it in the snow, I saw it in the peak of summer. I came up for the dawn chorus. You can hear the chiff-chaff singing now. It's a place for inspiration for me, and I really think this is a good place to write my poem and take a picture. I'm going to go sit down and try write a poem. Wish me luck. So I've written my poem and it goes as follows. Golden reeds where herons hide, tall trees where chiff-chaff sing, moments of reflection while suburbia surrounds. Now I'd like to explain in detail why I chose what I chose, but the truth is I just kind of spoke from how I feel about this place. I think I encapsulated it quite well, and now I need to take a photo. Right, it's time to take some photographs, and what is my approach going to be? So I'm going to start off and keeping it simple. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to go for a few different things. I'm going to try colour. If I need to switch to black and white, then I'll do that. I'm also going to start photographing everything that I think that might work. The lake, the trees, little things, because it's in this time is when you make the best kind of work. You experiment, you do different things. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just took them pretty photographs of those little daffodils down by the lake. You've just seen the clip. Initially, I wasn't going to take a photo or something specific like that. I was going to go for more of a sense of place, include the lake, include the reeds, include the trees. And then I remembered that visual art and written art do different things, and when combined they should do different things. So I thought maybe something like that would work, because the poem takes you to this place and allows you to visualize it. The photograph, therefore, shouldn't do the same. It should tell a different side of the story. So something like that could work. I'm going to keep trying photographing things like that. Lots of little flies in the air. I'm going to give it a go of trying to photograph these little flies. Now to do that, a little bit technical info. My autofocus is going to struggle to focus on the flies instead of the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to manual focus. On top of that, they're flying around quite quick, so I need a fast shutter speed. And I'm already at a very low f-stop, so that's good. I'm also going to decrease my ISO. It's a sunny day. I won't have a problem with getting a fast shutter speed. I'm going to give it a go. There is a specific photograph that this reminds me of. Someone who did it way better, Nick Carver. I'll put up a photograph now. It's kind of my inspiration. Although this will be black and white, and a little bit more dreamlike. So let's give it a go. So I've just spotted my favourite little bench, and I was thinking I'll take a photograph of that. It's got the lake in the background and it has a little bit of meaning behind it too. So I think I'm going to call it there. For me, I'm not going to spend too much time here. And if you are feeling not so inspired and you're not too sure and you're a little bit stuck, then I would just urge you to put the camera down, put the pen down and look around you and just acknowledge how it makes you feel being in a place like this for me, or if you are going to do your poem about your garden, about a houseplant that you feel dearly about, something close to you. Anything can be a poem, anything can be a photograph. Take a few, write a few poems, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. All the information about the competition and deadline, etc. will be on our Instagram page, as well as updates and prize announcements and all that. So follow along on Instagram. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in a bit.